In today's selection, we explore films that revolve around human connection, emotional change, and life altering encounters between characters from different stages of life. These stories often begin in ordinary circumstances, but slowly evolve into complicated emotional journeys shaped by trust, personal struggles, and unexpected bonds. Each film in this list presents a different perspective on relationships and how they can influence life decisions in powerful and unpredictable ways. Let's begin. Number 10. Don't Call Me, 2025. The story follows Eva, a dedicated woman who works in a field focused on helping people in need. Her life is structured around stability, responsibility, and the desire to build something meaningful for the future. Seeking a fresh start, Ava moves to a new city after receiving a promising job opportunity. She sees this change as a chance to reset her life and distance herself from the past. While going through the process of settling in and applying for work, she meets a young man named Amir. Their first interaction is simple and unplanned, just a brief conversation that seems ordinary at first. However, as time passes, Eva begins to cross paths with Amir again. Each meeting slowly adds new layers to their connection, turning a casual encounter into something more complex and emotionally engaging. As Eva learns more about Amir's background and personal circumstances, she starts to realize that there are hidden aspects of his life she never expected. These discoveries challenge her judgment and place her in situations where she must carefully rethink her decisions. The film builds tension gradually, focusing on emotional development, trust, and the way unexpected connections can shift the direction of a carefully planned life. Number 9. Mother Mara, 2024. Director Anton Kolomeets. Mara begins her story as a woman who once enjoyed a peaceful and stable family life. She lived with her husband and only son, building her world around them. However, everything changes after a tragic accident leads to the loss of her son. This moment becomes the turning point of her entire existence, leaving her emotionally devastated and disconnected from the life she once knew. As grief takes over, her relationship with her husband becomes strained. The emotional distance between them grows over time, eventually leading to separation. Left alone with her pain, Mara begins a journey of emotional survival. She decides to leave her old environment behind in search of a place where she can breathe again and slowly rebuild herself. During this new phase of her life, she meets a young man named Dejan. Unlike her past relationships, this connection emerges in a completely different context, one shaped by healing, vulnerability, and shared human understanding. Dejan's presence gradually becomes a turning point in her emotional journey. Through their interactions, Mara begins to confront her past while also discovering that life may still hold unexpected paths forward. The film. Number 8. Am Hang, 2013. Felix is introduced as a man going through a deeply unstable phase in his life. He feels overwhelmed by pressure, emotional exhaustion, and uncertainty about his future. Unable to find clarity in his current environment, he decides to return to his hometown, hoping that familiar surroundings might help him regain balance and perspective. Once there, Felix unexpectedly meets a woman named Valerie. She appears confident and direct, offering him a new perspective on his situation and suggesting ways he might regain control of his life. At first, this meeting feels like a turning point, a chance for Felix to reset and rebuild. However, as their interaction continues, things become more complicated than expected. Felix gradually finds himself drawn into a situation that is not as simple as it seemed. Hidden layers begin to surface, and what started as a possible solution slowly transforms into a growing emotional and psychological challenge. The story blends drama with subtle, lighter moments, creating a narrative that reflects how easily life decisions can shift when influenced by unexpected encounters. Number 7. Blindly in Love, 2025. Director J. Alexander. The film follows a young man who enters a relationship that initially appears simple and full of potential. At first, everything seems to move naturally and a sense of connection begins to form. However, as the relationship develops, deeper emotional layers begin to surface. The couple finds themselves facing situations that are more complicated than expected, revealing differences in perspective, expectations, and life direction. The young man gradually realizes that relationships are not only about initial connection, but also about navigating challenges that arise over time. As external pressures and personal struggles begin to affect their bond, the stability of the relationship becomes increasingly uncertain. The film focuses on emotional tension, personal growth, and the way relationships can evolve when reality begins to challenge early impressions. Number 6. Wild Seas, 2022. Director Heloise Peloquet. Kiara sets out on what is meant to be a peaceful fishing trip at sea, expecting a quiet escape away from daily life. However, her journey takes an unexpected turn when she discovers a young man named Maxence already on board the boat. What begins as an unusual situation slowly develops into an unfolding human story, set against the calm and isolated atmosphere of the open sea. As the days pass, the two characters begin to interact more naturally, sharing time and space in a setting removed from the outside world. Without external distractions, their connection evolves gradually, shaped by silence, distance, and the rhythm of the ocean itself. The film emphasizes subtle human interaction and the idea that meaningful encounters can happen in the most unexpected places, often when life slows down enough to allow them. Number 5. 2018. Director Anton Kolomeitz. The story follows Kuno, a young man struggling to find direction in his life while dealing with continuous pressure from his surroundings and expectations placed on him by his family. Despite these challenges, he remains focused on improving himself, searching for knowledge, experience, and a sense of identity in a difficult environment. His journey is not smooth, it is shaped by uncertainty, mistakes, and moments of doubt that force him to constantly reassess his path. Along the way, Kuno meets different individuals who influence him in various ways. Some provide guidance, while others unintentionally lead him into more complicated situations. Each encounter becomes part of his personal development, shaping the way he views life, responsibility, and the future he is trying to build. The film presents a grounded and realistic portrait of youth, ambition, and the struggle to find one's place in a demanding world.